For these examples, we need to find the exact values of our trig functions using our unit circle. So, first thing to do here is find each of our given angles. So, if our first one is negative 60 degrees, we want that in standard position. We can either say, starting from our positive x-axis, it goes down, so negative 60 degrees, or if you want to find that coterminally, you would say 360 minus 60 equals 300. So it would be the same as all the way around 300 degrees. So either of those work. So that's how we find that particular angle. Now using our unit circle, we can find that at 300 or our negative 60 degrees. The point given there is going to be, or our coordinate point should I say, is going to be at 1/2 negative root 3 over 2. So this is our coordinate point. Remember, once we have our coordinate points, we know that the x-axis, or the x-coordinate is our cosine, the y-coordinate is our sine, and we were asked for the cosine, so we just need the x-coordinate here. So the cosine of negative 60 degrees is just 1/2. So luckily, because of the fact we have our unit circle, it's literally just that easy. It's matching it up and writing it in. Similarly, if we have cosine of 5 pi over 4, we need to find where 5 pi over 4 is. Again, written in standard position. 5 pi over 4 is going to be over in this area. The coordinate points for 5 pi over 4 are going to be negative root 2 over 2, comma, negative root 2 over 2. And again, we're looking for the cosine, so we're looking for the x value. So the cosine of 5 pi over 4 is going to be negative root 2 over 2. This one might be a little bit more tricky. We have the angle given is negative 150. Again, if we want to find that coterminally, 360 minus 150 is going to come out to 210. So if you wanted to do the negative version and say negative 150, you can do that. Or if you prefer positive, it is 210. Finding that spot or that coordinate on our unit circle, that is going to be right at negative root 3 over 2, negative 1/2. Once we find this point, we are asked the cotangent. Now, you can either use our tangent point to find this and just know that it's the inverse. Again, this is where the unit circle is going to be very, very useful. But if we don't know the tangent off the top of our head, because our unit circle is, again, given in unit, so from here to here is just 1, we know that the tangent is always going to be the same as, I'm going to write this as tangent equals sine over cosine. So in this case, our sine would be negative 1/2, our cosine would be negative root 3 over 2. So we would say our sine is negative 1/2 divided by, we have the, use a different color here, we go back to red, negative root 3 over 2. Whenever you're dividing by a fraction, it's the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. So I'm going to get rid of that and say multiply by the reciprocal of negative 2 over root 3, in which case our 2's cancel out, and we're left with negative times a negative, also cancels out, 1 over root 3. But we don't like having radicals in our denominator, so we have to rationalize root 3 over root 3. So our final answer, I'm going to move this guy out of our way, root 3 over 3 is going to be our cotangent. And again, you could have found that by just taking the tangent and finding the reciprocal to get the cotangent. That works just as well. Our last one that we're looking for is the cosecant of negative 2 pi over 3. Again, if we prefer to use the negative version, we can just go right to it, knowing that this is negative 2 pi over 3. If you want to use the positive version, you have to do 2 pi, which is similar to 360, minus that 2 pi over 3. So I'm going to change 2 pi into thirds. So it would be 6 pi over 3 minus 2 pi over 3. Comes out to 4 pi over 3. It's going to be our positive value. And 4 pi over 3, the value that it gives us at the point, or our coordinates, is going to be negative 1/2, negative root 3 over 2. Remember, cosecant matches up with sine. It is the inverse of our sine function. So we would say the cosecant, I'm going to give us some room down here, cosecant of negative 2 pi over 3 is actually going to be just these, or should I say this piece, reciprocal. So it's going to come out to negative 2 over root 3. Again, we don't want to leave radicals in the denominator, so we have to rationalize, multiply by root 3 over root 3. So our answer is going to come out to negative 2 square roots of 3 over 3. And again, thankfully, since we have this wonderful unit circle, we can figure that out without having to punch anything into the calculator. Isn't trig great?